Alright, MrSotko here, and welcome back to another Wargame Red Dragon replay cast, and today is just a 3 vs 3, and again, it is a very short video. I uploaded another video today where I'll be uploading 2 videos. One of them is the Reddit 3 vs 3, and this one is just a user-submitted video, and both of them were really short, so I figured I would just upload 2 and post 2 of them, just so you guys could check out 2 at once. Because they're so short, you may be craving additional replay casts. Who knows? And we have our Red 4 team on the right side. We have Sturmoffizier, Kreiger, and RossichKS. And on the left side, we have a Blue 4 team, ZenTeapot, Selamat, Datang, and what is the rest of the name here? Don't really want to sell anybody short. Where's the name? Oh, is Selamat, Datang, K, Malaysia. That is a long one. And we have Tipu, Sultan, and Sturmoffizier also had the rest of his name to be announced as well. And where am I going to find him? And Sturmoffizier, SS, Wallonie. So, fan of the Reich, I suppose. It is the relatively new map, Road to Seoul. It's the smaller version, obviously, the 2 vs 2. And we're going to go ahead and speed this on up till all of the units come out. So now that we're past the naming of all the players and reading is hard, because everybody just has like the hardest name to read possible on here. So I think it's just to trick me. Just like, yeah, I'm going to make a really hard name and then put it on here just so he can make a fool of himself and sound like a bad reader. And F4 Phantom's moving out really quickly there for some scouting, seeing what's going on. And tons of stuff moving up the main roads here. And you can't really tell where anybody's going just yet as everybody moves up the roads and then takes these little off-ramps here to where they need to be. And Phantoms try and take out that Mi-24. And looks like it took a hit there. Didn't take it out. And loses an F4 there to the pile of troops moving out. So I don't really think that's the greatest idea to send troops out or to send jets out on this map and send them directly over the highway, because everybody knows that there's just a pile of troops, a big blob moving up the highway, and all you really have to do is just stop your anti-air for 1 second and launch 3 or 4 missiles and take out some kind of aircraft. So, and now for our Red 4 team, looks like Kreiger is moving over to the left side, taking Charlie, bringing over his BRDM CV and some troops, pretty modest, and T-72, T-55, Recon, Tunguska as well, and we have Sturmoffizier moving up the center with T-80As, T-72s, and looks like it's some Strellas as well, so mostly just armor for him. And for Rossich is moving over to the Bravo, and lots of Afghanis. I'm going to Strelky here to defend the road there from anti-air. And meanwhile, for the Blue 4 team, the B5 moving overhead, and I don't think it's going to drop. It is routed right now, so it is just on the way out. And that could have been really deadly. A few B5s, that would be a really good strategy on this map. Just have like 3 players all go B5s, and then just B5 the shit out of the highway as soon as the game starts. Would be so cheap. You'd probably lose them, but you would also just destroy so many units. It would be very interesting. I'd really like to see that. Red 4 team is pushing way up the highway here, and nobody's stopping them. Tornado moving overhead, but not going to do anything to the ground there. And some Humvees going to be placed in the woodline here on Delta. Doesn't look like too many CVs being brought up by Blue 4. Some Javelins here. And Gazelle, Recon moving over to the far side here to see anything moving along there. Some Chieftains, not too many troops here, some SAS in the town. And we have most of our troops set up right here. But again, the Red 4 team is just pushing all the way to the Blue 4 base. And nobody is stopping this guy. He's just going right through. This is crazy. Nobody set up anything on the highway here. I usually like to set up at least a tank or 2, some kind of a deterrent here on the highway to stop anything, because that's just an obvious path to go. And for our Blue 4 team, that is pretty much it. Set up all the way back here behind Golf. Could easily push into Golf. There goes my voice for some reason. And now the T-80 moving forward, and T-72 is moving right towards the main base here. And we have Luke's coming out and a Leopard. That is definitely not going to be enough to handle that. And you can see them all coming down the highway there. And not too much battling going on between the two just yet. Looks like the Blue 4 team moving up. Malaysia is moving up to the line there in Bravo, but he's got to deal with those Spetsnaz and the BTR. And this is what I'm really interested in, how this is going to go. And Harrier moving overhead is going to take a couple Strela hits and loses that instantly. 3 Strelas here moving up the center. So the guy's just bringing huge amounts of anti-air. And now the T-80s moving forward here. T-72 has an optic failure, so for about 2 minutes here, going to be not entirely useless. Or, well, one of them has an optic failure, but going to be a little bit off in its firing. Luke's finished off, and now Phantom dropping some bombs here, and going to land all over these tanks, but it's just napalm, so it's not going to do that much, these tanks. T-72 still moving forward here. And really only worried those tanks. Didn't really do much of anything. This T-72 is one of the T-72s in this group anyway. Is pretty heavily damaged. T-72 up front. And they need to get some armor out as soon as possible here. This Leopard is not going to do the trick. It does have 19 armor. It's a pretty potent Leopard, but not going to be able to hold out for long. And just checking the action here. Again, really nobody pushing forward all that much. Javelin here firing at the Mi-24s. And this is where all the good stuff is, I suppose. T-72's moving forward. He put the T-80s here in the wood line. One of them is stuck in the mud. And a longbow has been brought out to try and deal with these troops here. And somebody says beautiful on the Red 4 team, and it certainly is. That was a really great push, although I'm not sure if it's a really great push or just a really, really bad defense from the Blue 4 team. One or the other. And now another Leopard 2A4 is out. Really heavily armored Leopard. And air support as soon as possible here from the Red 4 team. And somebody's saying, dude, push. And we'll see how that works out. And T-80's now spreading out a little bit. As now they're starting to bring out the good stuff in it. 3 M8 AGS here. The only problem with AGS is that they have pretty much no armor. 3 armor. I mean, they can take... sometimes they get one-shotted. Leopard 2A1 still firing away. 16 armor on that one, and 19 armor on the 2A4. And so it's not going to be really enough to take out that T-80. And here comes 3 AGS. The AGS are going to take a shot first, I'd like to imagine, as the T-80s are in the wood line first here. And T-80 is now going to be pushing forward. Shoots one of the AGS, misses though. All the AGSs take out that T-80. Takes out that one too, so doing pretty good there with those AGS. Getting the first shots in. That is usually what is required with the AGS, otherwise you just pretty much lose them. T-72 moving forward here. And versus the Chieftain Mark II. And now going to be backing out here down to half health. And 2 B5s incoming here. 2 of them at once, and we'll see what he decides to bomb. And perhaps he's going to be bombing the main base. Not really sure, as there really isn't any anti-air here. We have the Tiger, but I don't even believe... No, that is not an anti-air. We have a F-16 block coming out, though, to fight these B-5s. And B-5's taking some ground fire there from the side of the highway and finishes off one of those B-5s. Didn't see where the other B-5 went. Maybe he lost both of them. And that would be pretty bad to lose 2 B-5s at once. So those are no more. Either that or one of them evac'd. Either way, the B5s are off of the screen now. Strela all the way back here. Just 4 missiles left on that Strela. M8 AGS chasing it down, moving through the wood line here. And we'll see if they go far enough to actually do that. I'm not sure if he actually sees that Strela or not. And now the battle here for Golf. Blue 4 team holding out against the Spetsnaz GRU. Spetsnaz GRU is in retreat. And some VDV pushing forward here to deal with these Panther Grenadiers and the Martyrs that are pushing up as well. And the BMD-3 finishes those 2 Martyrs off there. 2 of them there. Each fired 1 missile and finished them off there. The Jaeger's now moving into this wood line. And VDV now pushing ahead of these Spetsnaz. And will probably destroy these Panther Grenadiers here. There's only a few left, and they are totally stunned as well. And over here, T-80A pushing forward, and that's pretty much it. That's really pushing forward. We have the recon here. MrSotko trying to push forward, but they're in open ground. And so they're just going to take a lot of fire And so might just want to push those back into the wood line for now. Not really sure if they're going to be able to get through there. What are you doing has been placed here. Looks like we have some slight team drama going on. And I'm not sure if this is just a random game or not. Again, it was a user-submitted replay, and decided to do it because there are I did two replays today, this one included, and they're both really, really short, so I figured I would just slap a couple of them in there. But that push was really, really interesting. As you can see, all the scorch marks from that push, and really killed a lot of stuff on the way there, so it's pretty interesting. Delta Force in the town here. Unfortunately, Delta Force are pretty bad. Really, the only thing they're good for is that CQC machine gun inside of a town. But even still, a lot of units have the CQC machine gun, such as VDV, and I believe even Marines have the CQC. Other various units throughout the game also have it. Even these Panzer Grenadiers do, so Delta Force really need a buff, in my opinion. They're not so good. Tow missiles from this Lynx here launching at the T-62 finishes that off. Only has 3 tow missiles left here, and Strela finishes off that tow. So far a +1 advantage here for our Blue 4 team. So regardless of that Red 4 push there, it really wasn't enough so far. 107 to 4. Blue 4 has had a +1 advantage here for quite some time. And now a big push here coming from our Red 4 player, Kreiger, with the T-55, T-72, and VDV pushing up. So against these Panzer Grenadiers, pretty even battle here. And BTR going to get in the mix and needs to start firing soon here, or it's going to get shot by that PZF. And BTR launching those frags there and took out quite a bit of them in the time that it died there. Fernspacher moving forward. And T-72 spots that Luke's there. And it's going to get away in the wood line. T-55s. And T-72 is going to be moving on. And need to get all the way there to that CV. +3 advantage now for our Blue 4 team. Looks like they just brought out a whole bunch of CVs or placed them in a short period of time there. And the CV over here is moving, so that gave them that +2 there. So now just a +2 rather. Mi-6 resupply there, and it's going to be landing somewhere about here. And going to be repairing up and reinforcing all those troops and vehicles. Not sure it's going to be enough with that +2 advantage. T-72B pushing forward here, and its rear armor is facing these Jaegers. Or no, its frontal armor is actually facing them. And looks like it took a shot there. And now trying to back up as soon as possible. This T-55 is detracked for the next 30 seconds, so it's not looking too good for that recon T-55. Leopard finishes off the armor. And VDV is going to be trying to push across the way here, but just going to get peppered up by the Leopard. 2 Leopards now pushing forward, 2 A4s. And so all that push there was pretty much in vain. It was a really great push. It was really interesting to watch, but it really didn't turn out to be all that fruitful, if you will. The 3 M8 AGS still blocking the highway there, guarding it rather. And with Echo, Delta, and Golf taking that +3 advantage, a little bit too much for our Red 4 team right now. And that longbow made it all the way to Alpha there and took out the CV, so no more incoming units here at least. They do have they still do have Bravo though, so you could bring in units there, but they pretty much missed that. It is the end of the replay. For some reason, it didn't go to the replay screen. I think everybody just left the game. So the Blue 4 team was the winner today. Red 4 team lost the game. And, well, you know, that push into Hotel here might have been their downfall, actually, just because of the fact that, well, it did some good, but then he lost all these units where he could have put those somewhere else. And maybe pushed into Delta, Echo, or Golf here with all of those units, rather than just pretty much losing all of them here, and really didn't do too much really anything that was of permanent value over here. Didn't even take out the CV or anything, and then the 3 AGS came out and took them out. So that might have been the downfall there, but really just got outplayed this game. But I hope you guys enjoyed this replay, and I will see you guys next time.